Please tell me in the chat room how many chapters you finished until now or how many activity you finished. None? Who's writing none? Rad, you are from which, who is your faculty, Rad? You are the mom we have Dr. Aisha. Dr. Kashif, he's already started the activity. Just contact him to finish your activity. People, you have to finish 8 activity for this semester. Otherwise, you will be in a problem. And you as a student, you have to follow your activity if you are attending online or face-to-face. 10 activity, it costs you 10 marks. So please be aware about that. You have to contact your teachers. Please, anyone, try to contact your teacher to finish your activity at least 4 before the mid. Okay, people, let us start our master session. We are in master session number 4. And we finish all this. Just I will move to the part. We are here. We are from design by contract part. Design by contract, this came from unit 5 or 6, I'm not sure. It's unit 5, unit 6. So that will be not included in the mid. For design by contract, think about, or shortly we say DBC. Design by contract is something like a one-way. We have, think about a real life contract. It should be between 2 people. Like, for example, if I have a rent to my house, okay. Where are you? Here we are. Think of the contract like, change the color. Think about the contract like something like I have a rent to my house. When I want to rent my house, I will be the client or the caller, and the people who own the building, they will be the supplier or provider. So a contract, something will be need 2 people, client and suppliers. You can say sender and receiver, or you can say client and supplier. Both are correct. So for that, we have something, a client will be requesting something from a receiver. Think about if I want to have a Wi-Fi into my home. So as a client, I will request from the STC to give me Wi-Fi 1 month, say for 100 or 200 real. So as a supplier, they have to give me a services. They have to perform the services correctly for me. That means in the whole month, they have to give me the the internet running in all the months. So like that, think for each and every contract. So contract will ensure that is a contract is something to ensure between a client and supplier, there will be a service happen correctly performed to the client. So that is what we call design by contract. And it's in our slide, they need to build a design by contract. It's the process of developing a software. We need to know the operations. That means the services should be given. So for that, we need to have two things, the preconditions and the post condition. The precondition are the condition must be true before the services, and the post condition is the something should be happen true after we give the services. So think of precondition and post condition like that. Precondition is a pre-requirement. A precondition is a pre-requirement. A post condition is something should happen after we request the service or giving us the service. So here we have two types of our pre and post condition. For a post conditions, we'll have a strings conditions. We have strings post conditions, like something, think of this example. We have weak precondition and strings post condition. What's mean by weak precondition? Means generalizing the situation in which the server can be provided. Say I am asking for giving me 5 mega or unlimited download for Hawaii month. So you told me I will give you unlimited download for 28 days. Like that, you are waking what I asked you for. So that when we have a strings post condition will improve the output of the effective service. But how you will measure that improvement to enhance the efficiency and precision of the quantity? Think about a strings post condition. That's something mean making the services that is requested better in term of time. So when we have something related to better in the term of time, that means we are strings as a post condition. When we are requesting and generalizing something for a few conditions to be satisfied, so we are weaken a precondition. What's mean by generalizing? Generalizing means expanding the acceptable input range or reducing the requirements. Like if I ask you for 10 million for one megabyte per day, you give me around or approximately, say 28 half megabytes per day, something like that. We will understand that in the example. It will be easy. So a client is a fewer condition they will have. Think of example like a payment service initially require payments to be performed, credit cards only. The precondition is we can allow the payment through bank transfer, mobile payments, and another options. We only want a payment service. Why you give me through the bank or through mobile? So that when you give me a generalizations, you give me extra options. That means you make my precondition weak. Think of the strengths of both condition. A strengths man, you want to improve my services. Like I want to enter or open my website in 2 seconds or 10 seconds. You give me, I will open the service in 5 seconds. So like that, you're improving and the output. Think of example like e-commerce website initially has a post condition that order will be proceed within 24 hours. This post condition is strict by guaranteeing that order will now be proceed within 12 hours, proving service delivery. So that is we want to proceed in 24, but you give me in 12, so that you are improving the time for me, make the time is better, like what we say here. So that is, you give me a strings post condition. Is that clear, people, the differentiation between strings post condition and weakness precondition? Do you have any question? If you have a questions, please write in the chat room. Okay. Here we'll have an example to explain the design by contract for you. Thank you. Okay. So think of this example. I will read the scenario, the entire scenario with you, then we'll go for this point. The scenarios, they say, imagine that you have set up a .com company to supply email addresses to junk mail companies. You currently have 4 million email addresses, but your list grows every night. As you might capture the same email address many times, you decide to buy an off-the-shelf component that will sort the large number of email addresses quickly. This will enable the duplicates to appear together, and they can then be removed easily. You determine that you need to sort at least 10 million addresses. This is important point. At time that is considered as a precondition of the sort program. So this is my preconditions. This is my precondition, 10 million. And to be done in less than 10 minutes. So this is my post condition, 10 minutes. Post condition to sort the program. Your contact for company components were suppliers who send a description of their sorting algorithm. So I have 4 offers. You draw up a table to help you to decide which is best for you. So we'll see the table together. Our offer is like this. We want to 10 million address in 10 minutes. So we'll go here. This is the 4 company, Microsoft, ABDC sorting, ELB, and DCOTO sort. The first one gives us 1 million in 5 seconds with $25. The second gives us 10 million with 20 minutes. The third gives us 15 million with 10 seconds and 12 million with 18 minutes. With different amount of money. We didn't see the amount here. We focus on the precondition and the post condition. So for our precondition, we need to sort 10 million in 10 minutes. This is our requirements. So we'll have a question here. Which companies have weaker precondition? The precondition means a generalization. So who give us generalizations here? I will just remove this. Which company have weaker precondition? A preconditions is here. This is our, we return back for our preconditions. 2 company, ELB and DCOTI. So this is the 2 second here, the 2 last one. So this is the 2. This one and this one. So this is 50 million and this one. We ask only for 10. When they give us 50 million and 12, so they make our precondition generalization. So they make it more weaker. So this is the 2. Which company have stronger post conditions? Stronger means they give us better on time. Who give us better in time? Microsoft give us 5 seconds, and DCOT give us, and this is give us 10 seconds. It's better time, and this is also give us better time. which will be suitable for us. Suitable for us, we search for a weaker preconditions and stronger DSOT. So for the stronger and weaker pose, so we will select these two, the last two. So we'll have ELB and DSOT. Here we'll have more explanation for how we select that. For the precondition, as a generalization, the situation, that is, it will be easier for the client to satisfy the precondition. So that will be good. Sorting at least 8 million address, so that make stronger. For done in 12 minutes, that is mean weaker, and that because we ask for 10 minutes. That's making the services requested better in terms of the time. So that is why this is stronger. So that is why we select this is two company. It will be suitable for us. Is this example clear for all of you? Do you have questions? If you have questions, please write in the chat room. Okay. Here another example for comparing a cloud storage provider. We will follow the same concept. Here we'll have our 4 offer. We'll check the precondition first. We need to sort at least 250 GB of data in 15 seconds. So we will ask ourselves, we'll see, we have a look to the table. Cloud Safe give us 100 gigabyte, Megastore 500 gigabyte, and we ask for 250. So this is the less than what we want, and this is more than what we want. This is exactly what we want, and this is more than what we want. So we have a generalization here and here. So here for the time, we ask for 15 seconds, here 10 seconds. This is less than what we want. 20 seconds is better. 5 seconds is good. 1 minute, we ask for 15 seconds. This is more. So here we'll ask which provider comparing weak preconditions. For the precondition, we have a mega. It's giving generalizations because we ask for 250. And quick data is giving exactly the 250. And archive, we're giving also more than what we want, so that we consider a weak precondition. The 3 company here and here and here. Who is giving us a strong boss condition? A strong boss conditions means is better in time. The better in time have been with a cloud safe, was giving us 10 seconds. We ask for 15. By mistake, I put asterisk. This is 10 seconds, so that is good. And quick data, that is giving us 5 seconds. So we have 2 here. That is good. 20 seconds is too much. So we will select a strong boss condition. This is a 2. So finally, we decide which is suitable for our situations. We'll go for a quick data. This is give exactly what we want and better time. So weakness and strongest for our example. Is that clear? Do you have any questions until now? We'll have last one example with the same concept. Comparing different algorithms with their input size of the output. We'll see our precondition, 20 tutorials over 70 shifts, distribution over maximum 9 days. So this is our pre and this is our post. So we'll check for each one of them. Here will give us 40. We have 20. This is giving us 40. So a weakness will come in Horn because they give us 25. And Titans because give us 22. For a stronger boss condition is a distributed because they give us 7 days and we say 9 days. And Titans, we say 7 days and we want 9 days. And Graft give us 8 days, we say 9 days. So which is suitable for us is Titans because they give us near to our weakness conditions and better strongs, better for that. So we'll select Titans. So here you will have 3 examples. You have to read them. This is from the slides and this is from out of the slides. It's just to explain for you how you will think about a weaker precondition and a stronger precondition. Is that clear, people? Do you have any questions? Now we'll shift to the sequence diagram. We finished the activity diagram, use case diagram, class diagram, and object diagram. A sequence diagram is something like a state will be sequentially. So here we have 3 classes: students, seminar, and courses. They have some activity or message between them. So we have the first one: a student should make enrollment to students. Then he will go for the seminar. After he will go to the seminar, they will check if this student is eligible for this seminar or this course. Then they will submit him to the course. They send back a message saying that get seminar history. You have the details. Then they will say a seminar history is ready. Then they will say eligibility status. You are eligible for this course, so you can enrollment for that course. Like that, we have sequence statement or sequence message have been sent between our classes. Different scenario. This is our scenario from the slides. Speak about the hotels. The user interface is our point of start, and a Ritz hotel, this is, you notice the difference between a class diagram and object diagram. This is an object, because they say this is the class name, hotel, and this is the object name, as they mentioned here. I'll just change the color. So here we'll have the hotel name. This is an object involved, or we can say a class name, and the Ritz is the object name. So here we have the room. The room is the class name, and the room number 401, this is an object name. Same for gel and for guest. So like that, and you have to make sure this is underlined because this is represent our objects. So for the sequence of our diagram, or the dynamic moduling for how we make to reserve check-in in the room, we'll go for, from the interface, we'll go for check-in, room number, sent to the hotel. The hotel will identify the guest. Then they will find there is a room. Then they will, if the room is ready, they will accept gel. Then they will set occupy the room. Then set the room number 401 and send acceptance for gel. So like that, this is a dynamic modeling diagram. Dynamic means you have to write each and every steps or each and every message running between the classes. What we need to draw a sequence diagram, we need objects, we need messages, we need self-message, at least one. We need optional fragment or alternative fragment or loop fragment or a general. We discussed the fragments and generalization in section 7. So you need to specify which one of them. We cannot have all of them, optional, alternative, and loop. We will select. We are not selecting from our side. That's happen, depends on the scenario. You have to decide which one you will put into your sequence diagram. So you will see the scenario, developing a sequence diagram for the process of buying item at an e-commerce website with the following requirements. You have to create 4 objects. The 4 object names have been given: user interface, website, database, and cart. Create at least 6 messages for these operations. He didn't mention the name of the message, so you have to be creative. You find a suitable one, at least one self message. That means a class sent a message to himself. And use one optional fragment once, and use one loop fragment once. So like that, we can create a diagram, something like that. We have 4 classes: user interface, the first point or the first trigger, and the website as website, the cart, and the database. So here you will see the first message sending from user interface to a website is browse item. Then here we have a loop running. This is the square of the loop, and this is the square for options. So for the loop, we'll keep adding item to our chart. Maybe I add 2 or 3, or they didn't mention the loop number, because as a buyer, a client, may I buy 5 things? May I buy 12? May I buy only 1? But it's a loop. So then we'll keep changing and updating the chart, because I am keep adding things to my chart. Then finally, when we have the option to provide, if we have a discount, like a card of discount or something, so I have to apply. Otherwise, I will not go for this option. I will go directly here for processing the card, processing my order. I don't have any discount. Then I will upload my order. Then I will finally update my item and go for payment. So here, how many objects we have? We have 4. We have 4. 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 messages. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have more than 6. That's good. In the exam hall, I just want 6. Don't try it more than 6. We have optional fragment. This is optional fragment. Sorry, this is optional, and this is the loop. So everything they ask me to draw is there in my diagram. So by that, and if diagram is okay and false, you have to get the good marks for that. Is this diagram is clear for all of you? Do you have questions? If you have questions, please write in the chat room. يا رب لك الحمد والشكر. Okay, that's good. What is not clear for you, Rad? Can you tell me? If you can open your mic and speak, no problem. Loop and OPT. Okay, Rad, think of loop like a loop is something happen like a loop in Java. You study M251. A loop, something will be repeated more than one time. Think about when I want to buy, this is my chart. Think of any website you want to buy something. مثلا Temu or Trendyol or أي موقع online you want to buy, أو Amazon مثلا. So for buying a chart, I will select مثلا the first one. I will select the first item. Say I want to buy مثلا a book. This is the first one. I want to select another things. I want to buy مثلا a table. So this will be the second item. I want to select مثلا a cup of tea. I want to select a watch. So this process, buying and adding item, yeah, it will be happen more than one time. So here this is 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. عملية تتكرر more than one time. So this will be repeating more than time, and I cannot specify in here 4 or 5 or 6 here, because Samah will buy 2 things, book and table. Ra'ad will buy 5 things. He will buy watch and tables and bag مثلا. You will buy a lot of things from that. So may you will item you will have 10. So like that, this should be a loop. So buying and adding, selecting and adding into the cart. اشتري بحط على السلة يا رعد. That is mean it should be something like a loop. Okay. And optional here, if you have a discount, if I am buying, some of us, they will get, مثلا, they will buy a lot. So we'll get offer. Like I have a card, مثلا, they told me it's 5 number. I will say 5, 6, 7. So this is my optional number. هذا الرقم عشان to make a discount. So if I have buy 5 things and عندي discount, يعني I have a card for discount, I will enter this for 3 number. So these options will be running and these options will be running. But أنا السماح I will buy only 2 things and I don't have a discount, so that will be optional for me. So I just add my 2, the table and the watch, and I will go for processing and payment to the website. Is that clear, Rad? The difference is clear, the loop and the optionals? Loop means operation should be repeated. Okay. Optional, that's something it could happen and it cannot happen. Think about the website. Some of the website will get a discount. The discount will not for all of us. Okay. So here we'll have another example. We'll have we want to develop a sequence diagram for a process of purchasing a product. This look like the purchasing from an online shop with the following requirements. Here they give us different requirements. The requirements here they give the same for objects. The first one will be user interface, the online shop, the product, and John. Here they will specify the thing. I will buy only one product, number A01, and the customer is John. So they will mean no loop here and no optional. They need me to create 6 messages and 1 self messages. So this is my 4 object, interface, ABC, product, and John. Here we'll have the login because I have a user, John, he has to have a login. I am already user. Here we identify the customer by this message if everything is okay. So we'll search for a specific product. So I will select the product and serve the product, then finally deliver the product and go for payments. So here I have how many messages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I have exactly 6 messages. I didn't increase extra message. Okay, so I have 4 objects, 1 self message and 6 messages. Is that clear? We'll go for another example. Think about what is the name. They say, think about it when they give us this diagram in the exam and they ask us some question. They ask, what is the name of the above diagram? When you see kind diagram like that, this is definitely sequence diagram. Then they say, list the main elements in the diagram. So how many elements here we have? We have a lot of things. We have 3 objects classes, rectangular. We have the involved and represent by rectangular top diagram messages between the objects. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 objects. Then we have the messages between the objects. The messages have been represented by the arrows. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages. And also we have the object lifeline. So this is the object lifeline. It will be represented by a dash line. That means object is not working. And it will be represented by indicated when the particle objects are active, represented by a long rectangular. So this is the long rectangular, represent that the lifeline of my objects, as we know. So we have all the 6, 4 objects, 6 messages, dashes to represent the lifeline of the objects. This is what we have, elements. Again, he asked us, what does the lifeline in the diagram represent? Lifeline, what represent? Represent if it's a long rectangular, that represent that is an object is active for all this time. If we have a dash dot like that, that means this object is not running now or not active. So a lifeline represent the partition of the life of an object covered by the sequence diagram. They ask us the 4th question. What sort of arrow head is used on an arrow debating synchronization message? So why we're using this kind of arrows here? We use it to a black arrowhead, which indicates what? From where I am going and the procedure from which objects going to another objects with a dashboard shift is used to significantly. The method return also is often to omit for a clarity. So when I'm sending message from here to here, that's mean I am sending a message from user interface to the object ABC. I'm clearly saying what type of message I am sending here by writing the name of the message. And the point when the arrow receive here, then this object will start to be live line. So this is not active here. From he received the message, then it will be live line until we finish everything. So that will be the live line of these objects. Okay, is that clear, people? Do you have questions? Okay. Number 5 in the same question. In the given diagram, what does the widening of a live line into a tall, thin rectangular mean? They mean this line, long, wide, rectangular. That is mean this object is active all this time. That's mean this object is active and the entire live line of these objects. This is the operation to be complete. They are waiting for a completion of the operation. When everything is complete, they go for dash, 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 dash. Okay? Here they ask us how can represent an object creation and deletion in the sequence diagram. Creation and deletions for the objects, that is something we know from M251. We have two concepts clear, constructor and destructor. We use a constructor to build and create the object, and we use the destructor to remove the object. The same concept, we'll use it here into our diagram. We use a new guest, that is to create a new object, and we use a word destroy to destroying our object. So you can write something like that. When you want to create a new guest, you send a message called new guest, and when you want to destroy, you send a message called destroy. Think about constructor and destructor. Here you will see this diagram. They will ask us, does this diagram represent generalization sequence diagram? Please explain your reasoning. If it is not generalized sequence diagram, suggest modification to generalize it. So here, this is the operation is check in for a guest into the room. Check in guest into the room. They will see the same diagram which we already have in our slide. A user interface, Jill as a guest, the Ritz is hotel, and room number 401. So we'll see how the process is going. Identifying the guest, check in the Ritz hotel, finding a free room, set the room, and the room have been occupied. So we will update something here. If you want to make a check-in, how we will make a generalization for that diagram, you will make this diagram for everyone. You, instead of writing Jill, you write just G for a guest. Instead of room number 401, you will say R. So you will return back to your diagram into the slide. So like that, you are making a generalization. So this is a check-in for a guest. Okay. Now we have another concept called a prototypical interaction style. A prototypical interaction style is something like more than one scenario. We always know we have a one successful scenario, then we have other scenario, alternative scenario. But what will happen if we have more than one scenario in the same diagram? So how we will use that? If you want to explain, and that is something people will avoid to do it because that will make our scenario difficult to understand and more complex. But for sometimes, may we need to do that. So in this style of object, we'll name a guest or the room. So how we'll make that interaction diagram? We'll say something generalizations like check in. We are not saying Jill or Fatima or Ahmed. We say check in with SS, anyone. A guest will be a G. So identifying that guest is S. Maybe Jill, maybe Ahmed, maybe Fatima, maybe whatever. Then for the room, we are not saying room number 5 or 6. We'll say just R, finding any room. Then when we find the room, we'll accept the guest G. Then we'll occupy the guest G, and we will set the room number R. Here we are making more than one scenario. So when we are drawing something like that, we are drawing a prototypical interaction. So this is just a generalization for your diagram. When we are drawing here, we specifically say a room number and a name, a room number and a name, specific name. But here we are using something like a parameter in the programming. So that is where we make our diagram general. This diagram can be for Jill, for Ahmed, for Fatima, for Hiba. So that's what's mean generalization. And if we are drawing something like that, we call this diagram a prototypical interaction sequence diagram. Is that clear for all of you? Do you have questions? Okay. Okay, if you don't have questions, just we'll have a break for 5 minutes and I will be come back. Okay, we will continue. We'll go for a communications class. Okay, do you hear me now? Hello? We start the communications collaborations diagram here. We see how we will draw the communication diagram. A communication diagram is part of our diagram, and we call it a dynamic diagram. It's not part of the static diagram. So like that, we'll see the first example here in this figure. You will see we have 4 objects here. I have the user interface, a gel as a guest, and the hotel and the room. From these communications means I have to say clearly which object sent to another object. So here from this direction of my arrow, I will understand the first step here is the user interface will send identification guest for a specific room, that is room number 23. And here you will see the step number 2. After he's identifying for the hotel, he will make a check-in for the rest. That is the functions here. You will see how the arrow is going in which way. So I am sending the message from the user interface to the guest. Then only the guest will set the room. That is mean a self operations here. So here we'll go for a part 2.2. This is the second step, setting the room number 401 for a guest gel. Then after that, they will set occupied the room for gel. That's mean room number 401. And before that, they have to find a free room for gel. So like that, you will see the sequence or the communications between our object. So from how the arrow is going, I understand from which object I am sending specific arrow. So here I'm sending from user interface to the hotel. Here I'm sending from the guest to the hotel. And here I'm sending from the guest to the room. They will be, notice that there will be no message sending from the room to the guest or from the hotel to the guest or vice versa. So here I am clearly saying the communication diagram between the 4 classes, user interface, gel, and the room and the hotel of theirs. Is that clear for all of you? Do you have a question? Here we have 2 concepts we have to discuss. We already discussed them before in our classes. We have something called a fork and something called cascading. Fork is coming when we have two things running together, then I only have this operation. So that is part of the communication diagram. You have to decide, you will use the pattern fork or the cascaded diagram. How we will make separated to understand what is going on. So think about a graph, a company. This is only one company. They have a lot of jobs. So for each job, they will be having only one person. So this is the general diagram. To make this diagram more clear to understand, we'll see something like here. When we want to have a company hiring someone for a job under a specific age, for that, we say this is a cascaded. When we have a company who want to hire one for a specific job with specific details, so here we have to build a fork. So how to differentiate between a fork and the cascaded? So that is what we will do here. We will say giving a following sequence diagram. Here our user interface, here we're a system, here we train, and here the passenger. Think about the train and the passenger. They are both related to a ticket system. But a train, if you want to be, you have a passenger, you want to be in the train, you have to book a ticket. So that is, you have to build a fork. Think here, when we want to build something like this is the interface, this is a ticket system, and this is a train. If the way of you have to get inside the train, then only the passenger get the ticket. So for that, you will go for a cascaded. So either which of one you will decide, that will be depends on the scenario they ask you to build. So if the scenario, the passenger have to book a ticket for first, then only allow him to check into the train, so we'll go for the fork. This is two things should happen together, then only will go for the ticket system. When I have a passenger will go inside the train, then only will get the ticket with associated ticket number, so that will have a cascaded design. Is this graph, and this is differentiation between the fork and cascaded. Is that clear for all of you? Do you have questions? If you have questions, please write in the chat room. Okay. Here the example of question, draw an equivalent communication diagram for the given diagram. So here our a communication diagram for a given diagram. So this is our diagram. So they will give us this. We want to draw the communication diagram. From here, we understand there will be a relationship or message sent from the user interface to the ABC online shop. So we have to make a login. This is a login. Then we understand there will be a message sending from the online shop to a product number. So that is a select by John, select specific order. And here they will be sending self message to the server to check if the order is there and who is selecting that order. So that select the product, serve the John. Then here there will be a message called delivery product that is sent from the product to the customer. That is, I am sure I find the product is there and how much of price of that product. There will be identifying customer message here by AAA 100. That is will be inside the shop online. They will search if we have a product or not, the specific product you are searching for. Like for example, think about I want to buy a table, specific table with a specific color. So I will keep searching. I will log into the system. I will go to the online shopping. I will identify myself by username, password, whatever. So I will keep searching for my product until I find the product. I will select my product. Then after that, the product have been submitted or occupied to the customer. Then we'll go for the next step. That's mean payment for that product. Is that steps is clear for all of you? Do you have a question? Here we have another example. We have to draw following giving flow the sequence diagram. This is our sequence diagram. Convert the sequence diagram to a collaborations diagram. So how we will collaborate into that? We have a user interface. We have four objects, 1, 2, 3, and 4 objects. For each and every object, we'll check the messages here. We have check the train, select the route, provide the payment, search the train, update the number, associate the train. So how we will go for that? We'll check the relation between user interface and ticket system. So this is here, we have 1, 2, 3. So we have check in the train, we have select the route, and we have provide the information. So we have 3, 1, 2, 3 optionals here. Go for messages going from the user interface to the ticket system. Then what the ticket system will make, the ticket system will search for a train. So that's self messages to the same system. Then the system will send update number to the a train. So we'll send a message here for updating the train. Then we'll send a message for associated ticket number to the passenger. So this is the ticket for the passenger. So think about how you will convert the sequence diagram to a collaboration diagram or a communications diagram. So you have to check you have been convert all the messages here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages. I have 4 objects here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 objects here, 1, 2, 3, 4 objects here. So that should be clear for all of you. Do you have any questions until now? If you have any questions, please write in the chat room. Okay. Here is another example. We are using a diagram in the figure below. So this is our diagram. To answer these questions, what is the name of the diagram in the figure? When we see kind of diagram like that, that is called a communications diagram. So that costs you 1 mark. What is the main weakness in the diagram of in the given figure? That is a weakness of communication diagram. Actual sequence of the message, difficult to see. So sequential number existing for messages is 1 mark. Draw a sequence diagram that's equivalent to the diagram. So I will take this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 object. How many messages I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 messages. So I will go for my sequence diagram. I will put the object here. 1, 2, 3, 4 objects. I will see how they act to each other. A user interface sent to the hotel. So this is identify the guest. So this is identify the guest, sending from the user interface to the hotel. User interface will make also check-in. So for the guest. So this is the check-in for the guest. This is the second message. Find a free room. So that will be sent from the guest to the hotel. So I will send from the guest to the hotel. This is the find a free room. Setting a room, it will be a self for a guest. So it will be here. Then finally, we set the occupied the room. It will be sending from the guest to the room. So I'm sending from the guest to the room like that. So like that, you have to think about your diagram and how you will change from the sequence diagram to the collaborations diagram. Is everything clear for all of you? Do you have questions? I will solve one mock exam, second mock exam with you. This all questions came from our exam, so you have to prepare yourself for the exam. And also now I will try to solve one of the second mock exam with you. Last master session, we explained one of the mock, and some of you they're asking where I found the mock. I will show you now. So you have to go for your LMS. Where is my LMS? No. No. I'm here. Share. Okay. So you have to log into your system. Select your subject is TM354. You have to select the subject from here. This is my subject, TM354. Click on that. Then you have to go for CLMS. And it went. System is click to my subject. So when I select CLMS, it will go something like that. Here you will find the electronic book. I will go down, you see a tab called Revision Mock Exam and Format Feedback. Click into that button. Down you will find the first one, you will find TM354 MT Mock Exam for the mid, and they'll give you two options for the final. So for this one, we already solved it. You just click onto that. It will download and open for you, so you can go and solve it and try it. This mock, we already solved it last lecture, okay? I will open another one for you to solve it together. Just share my screen. This is another example for the mock exam. It will cost you 2 hours. The total marks of the mid exam is 60 marks. Just read this is carefully. It will be contained for 3 parts. You have to answer all the questions. And please be sure to write your name and your ID. And they mentioned the calculator are not allowed clearly here. So you will not need to use any calculator for your exam hall. And here you will not have external, you have to put your oral paper into the answer booklet. Please be sure for that. Here we'll see multiple choice MCQ questions. The MCQ question, that means you have to read the questions carefully, and there's no way of guessing here. Either you read the questions and you know the answer, exactly you will say A or B or C, or you are not knowing that it costs you 6 marks. Each one will cost you 2 marks. So if you read the first question, they will say which of the following activity for the development of good software system is concerned with controlling the cost of developing such a system. So that's the answer, correct answer here is a project management. The second one, which of the following is not considered as what software requirement need? So the first one, the question is ambiguity. The lines drawn between object in an object diagram are known as links. It's not method, it's not attribute, it's not association. This is very easy to choose. Then we'll go for the shortest answer question that it costs you 24 marks for 4 questions. So we will say something like here. They will ask you something shortly for some definition. So they will say, مثلا, briefly explain the importance of traceability with respect to requirements. So you have to give the explanation of the traceability, and we prefer that to be from your slide, but you can, if you give something, giving the meaning or the correct way in different statement or different, but we prefer to give us the answer from the slides. The second questions will be, state 3 properties modeling language must have in order to be used by the software engineering. We'll say allowing to express many facts of the subject helps you to solve misunderstanding rather than introducing a new. Is supported by the tools. Any 3 of them will cost you 2 marks for total 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 in the slide. You can select 3 of them. Each one will cost you 2 marks of total of 6. This is all short. Short means that the answer of the question, it will be short. When they say explain, so you have to write an explanation. But when they say mention or state or mention and state, that will be a short question. When they say explain or discuss, that means you have to write something, maybe 2 or 3 lines to discuss the issue. The third questions here will say, what is the difference between user requirement and system requirements? So we understand the user requirement are abstract statement of the software that costs you 3 marks, and system requirements are more detailed description of the functionality to cost you 3 marks. The 4th questions, briefly, when they say discuss, here you have to discuss. Discuss means you put your explanation. You can put the definition of the importance of time, and you can put some Explanation. Explanation, if they ask you to write better here, they give a drawing diagram. So they say briefly discuss the importance of time and how it can be represented in a class diagram. Make sure to add example. When they say make sure to add example, that means they want you to draw something. Because all our diagram are drawing, so you have to make a drawing for something to add your diagram. So simply you have a definition of the importance of time. You can say time can be represented in a class diagram by adding more association between the classes and with the help of different rule names on the different associations. Here they give a small example of, this is our example from the book, from the slide, library member and book. Here we have the last part of our exam. We'll be having 2 questions. Each one costs 15 marks. That is a full of drawing of diagram. So here, simply, this is our scenario. They ask us, we read the scenario carefully. Develop. We read the scenario carefully. They say, develop an activity diagram of the task restoring backup data in the system. Assuming that the task can be completed by an administrator, make sure to cover the following requirements. Use a swim lane. So I have to use a swim lane, represent 2 rules. Administrator and the system, they give us the name of the rule, administrator and system, so I will not use name from my side. The administrator needs to select a proper backup file based on a specific date. The system would restore post user data transactions. Make sure to use 6 activity. So this is our diagram. This is an example of the drawing. This is the correct one. You have to swim, because I say swim lane, so I have to separate it into 2 parts, administrator and system, because they simply clearly say here, administrator and system. They mention that clearly. So here they'll go for, and should be start point and end point here. So it will be provide backup and backup available. This is, we have options here. Select our backup. This is a guard, confirming backup and retrieving available backups. So here our a fork, restore user data and restore transactions. And here our diagram, provide confirmations message and no backup availability. This is a guard, and we have the end. Make sure when you're drawing a diagram like that, you have only one start and only one end. You should not have 2 end or 3 end in one diagram, people. You will have only 1 point entering and you have only 1 end into the diagram. Finally, we'll have the third message here. They give us an example of, they give us a drawing. This is our drawing. They ask us to do giving the below use case diagram. So we know this is a use case diagram for a virtual learning environment. Redraw the diagram using generalization properly without adding any new actor. Prepare the use case description to delete recording use case. So we will, this is our original diagram. We have a 3, 1, 2, 3. How we will make a generalization without adding any more actors. So we have a learner. We have to have the 3, learner, teachers, and the learner will make the recorded. They say prepare the use case description, delete recording. So we'll add a delete recording here. Delete recording either by the teacher or by the meditors. Okay. So think of your exam positively, and I hope all of you will get high marks in this exam, and I wish you all the best. Do you have any questions? And try to solve the mock exam, people. And I always told you, solving the exam, not just seeing the exam. You have to make your hand dirty by taking pencil and paper, read the questions, cover the answer, try to solve the problem from your mind by your hand, drawing the activity. If it is activity diagram or if it is sequence diagram, then check your answer with the correct answer. From the first time you are not writing or designing the correct diagram, you will find some mistakes there. Try to understand why you did this kind of mistake. Go for the next questions, read the question carefully, draw the second questions, check your answer. You will find you miss some point again and again and again until you will just read the scenario and immediately go for drawing the diagram. And please be sure in the exam hall, when you get answer for the MCQ, move your answer into the answer book sheet. Don't keep the answer into the answer sheet, because if you write it there, it will not be considered. You have to move your correct answer from the questions to the answer sheet, because we are checking the answer booklet sheet. We are not checking the questions. So be sure for that. This is the first point. Second point, be sure to write your name correctly and your ID correctly. Most of you, they forget to write their ID, or they write the wrong ID. That will make us creating a problem. The third point, please, when they're asking you to write something, if they say in the short question, if they say mention 4, please mention 5 or 6. Maybe one of the 4 will not be correct. So because we didn't want you to miss some marks, if you give me 5 or 6, I will search the 4, correct them, then I will give you the marks. When they ask you to explain, please try to explain shortly. Don't explain writing one whole paper. That will not be a correct answer. Explain means you have to explain shortly, maximum by 3 lines. That will be worthy for your answer. And if you read the question, you cannot remember, or you cannot say specific details, try to write something related to the subject. It may be correct. Last things about the drawing, when they ask you to draw, make sure you understand which type of drawing they ask you to draw. If they ask you to draw activity diagram, please make sure you are drawing activity diagram. If they ask you to draw a use case diagram, make sure you are drawing a use case diagram. If they ask you to draw an object or communication diagram, you have to use the symbol related to that diagram. If they ask you activity diagram, use the symbol related to activity diagram. Don't use the symbol related to the use case, because that your drawing, it will be considered wrong. If you miss the symbol, then you will get 0 from that diagram, and that it costs you 15 marks. So please make sure you understand the difference between the diagram. You understand which sample we use for which diagram. Okay, is that clear for all of you? Do you have any questions regarding the TM354 or the exam or activity or anything? Feel free to ask me. I'm here for you. Okay. Okay, thank you for all your attendance. I wish you all the best in the exam hall, and see you next Thursday, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.